14 seconds over car number 3, the Peter Fitzgerald car, that's just done its pit stop and brake pad change.
And not due to make another pit stop for about 25 minutes, the lead car.
Yes, so building time, in other words. Again, it should pit and hold its lead at the next stop. And indeed, it's got a bigger margin now than it had when it last did that.
Yeah, that's right.
It was on a minute before, and it's got another 14 seconds on top now. So this is still a very open motor race. I've asked Neil Crompton, David Rose, any feel, any brave predictions from you?
No, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Sort of been there, done that, seen one, take two, Porsche Mazda, and sort of the same sorts of names up there as well. Alan Horsley, I can never underestimate him. I'll be curious to know how much of a factor his famous cool fuel is doing for him. He claimed that it was going to make a huge difference. It was going to be his trump card for this motor race, was going to be his cool fuel.
I'll come up with a prediction for you all, and that is that I think the race may well be decided by a mechanical problem or lack of them.
Yeah, I absolutely
It's
agree
so
with
close between the cars, they'll keep pushing each other. We've seen at less than halfway one of each go. Why wouldn't we see some more?
Well, Alan said to me just a moment ago that he didn't feel as though the race pace would continue at this sort of rate. He didn't expect that it would.
He was praying that it
well, he was quite serious. He was, I mean, he said to me, we can't keep this up, but nobody wants to blink at the moment. So
exactly. They don't want to, but they've got to if you want to stay there.
Yeah. Oh, you will see what happens when we get a look at the brakes off the Mazda. They've got a simple little system where they basically unhook the caliper with like a dry brake system in the actual oil line.
Yes, that's right.
And
don't have to bleed it.
Yeah, they don't have to bleed it, so they just undo the caliper, unclip it, clip another one on, and it's got all the pads and everything inserted in it already, so they put it on as a unit. So it's quite an impressive feat the way they do that.
I guess this was one of the main mechanical unknowns here. It was pretty much a known factor at Mount Panorama. You just knew you had to change brakes and so on, but here, a bit of a different story.
Just a wisp of blue smoke there on the gear change.
They always breathe a bit heavy, the Mazdas. Whenever I did any testing last year when we were preparing for the race at Bathurst, and I even did a couple of runs afterwards, we were still developing a few things here and there, and you kind of look in the mirror occasionally and think, oh, what's this? But that's just normal. It's just normal.
Have you driven the SP version?
No, I haven't. No, I'd like to. It's an impressive looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I drove one on the road. I haven't really done anything in anger with it except to discover that it's very strong in the mid-range. It's got a lot of torque. The turbo's nicely sorted. It comes on pretty strongly and without much sort of noticeable lag. It obviously jumps away from the mark pretty smartly. It's that sort of really tightly configured car where there's it's very hard to see, but there is a fractional bulge above the driver and passenger's head. The roof comes down fractionally in the middle just to minimise frontal area in the car. And a bit of headlight flashing there for a car in the way up front, which sees it and moves right out of the way very appropriately, and well done.
Dick's settled in a bit more now. He got very few miles in practice. They had an engine problem on day one, and various other things occurred, so Dick had really done almost no mileage at all come this morning, so it will have taken him a little bit of time to get his rhythm, and now what he's doing is using his headlights to warn guys in front that he's on his way. He figures if he can catch their eye early, they'll make a bit of space, and he can keep his rhythm up. It's really, really easy to